Hello, everybody. Welcome to WrestleMania week. I'm still struggling with my camera at the moment, and that is because bad preparation. Anyway, I'm here. Welcome. We're on the road to the granddaddy of them all, the showcase of the Immortals. Yes, it's time. It's this coming Saturday is night one, and Sunday is night two. Of course, I'm talking about WrestleMania, and here also on GTA Sports Studio we are actually going to prepare. We're going to have a whole week of podcasts. Yes, even my phone is excited to hear them just beep. WrestleMania. We're live. We're going to do preparation. What are we going to do? Well, tonight we're going to talk a little bit, of course, about the event, about this whole thing, this podcast series, everything, a little bit around WrestleMania, everything, common knowledge, news. There are everyday news, of course. If you have any questions, of course, regarding WrestleMania, you leave them in the comments section, of course, and I will get them on the day after, of course, and I will answer them for you. So you have a great reason to tune in the next day to hear the answer from my side. That's one thing. And of course, wrestling related other kind of questions I will ignore. So sorry. All right, and then also we are going to what it's also going to be is that tomorrow we're having a lot of news day. Also, what is on the latest, we're going to talk about. On Wednesday, I'm going to talk about actually more or less the first event. That is the WWE Championship, of course, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. And then on Thursday, we have our prediction show, going to predict whole WrestleMania. My producer says no. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I did it wrong. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about the triple threat WrestleMania match, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns versus Edge. And on Thursday, we're going to do the prediction show for all the matches on night one. And on Friday, we're going to do the prediction show for WrestleMania night two. So because it's otherwise getting so long shows, I'm so long busy just to do one prediction show. I hope you understand that, and if you do, thank you for understanding. All right, so I do my first time prediction show over 2 shows. All right, being that said, welcome to the show. My name is Abbink. I'm a reporter and pro wrestling critic for GTA Sports Studio. You can find our website on GTA Sports Studio. We have a special site up for WrestleMania that is called wrestlemania.djasportsstudio.com. There you find all the latest news. You can find match cards there. You can find our podcasts also there. More videos also coming up. And after the WrestleMania event, of course, we're going to have also we're going to have we're going to have the results up there from the night before, so after when night one is passed, you will see the results there with thoughts and comments about the match. So one side, it is it all. You can find it all. GGA Sports of WrestleMania.GGASportsstudio.com. I will later lay the link in. I totally forgot that into the description of this video. All right. WrestleMania week is, of course. What is WrestleMania? If you never tune into this, well. It's the third year running. We're doing this every day. We're going to do a podcast every evening at 8 o'clock Central European time, 7 p.m. UK time, and 2 p.m. Eastern time in the United States. We are going to talk about WrestleMania, the latest news around WrestleMania. If you have any questions, of course, I will answer them regarding WrestleMania. More or less everything there is to need to know. If something happens, and then I will try to get back to you at best as I feed. And sorry about the light's a little bit sharp. Being that said, of course, that's a little bit WrestleMania for you. I'm going to give for you the best insights, the best information. This is the show you need to follow, people. This has it all. Trust me. I don't want to sound arrogant, all right? WWE has released the rules and regulations for the attendance if you want to attend the show. So if you're going to be in the audience for WrestleMania, I will give you a little bit. Masks are required all time unless you are in a seat. Unless you are your seat in your seat eating or drinking. Yeah, that's logic. You can't wear a mask if you are eating or drinking. That's logic. You are not allowed to gather in common areas with people in places like concourse. So, don't go standing big groups together. Stay in your seat all time. It sounds best, of course, unless you have to go to the toilet, of course. And we also keep social distancing, of course. All food and drink transactions will be cashless. They will have reverse ATM machines to use if you have cash. You can put cash into the machine. You will get a debit card you can use. So more or less, if you don't have a debit card on cash, you can some sort of debit card, and with that debit card, you can actually pay for your drinks or like that. So smart idea. No bags are allowed in the stadium, so let them be. Don't take drinks along. Don't eat along. It's the best just to buy them in the stadium. I know people. Stadium food, it sucks. Beer in stadiums even more. Trust me, it's disgusting. It's warm. It's yuck. You get it in plastic glasses. I am aware. It's probably even alcohol free. Even more, less yuck. Even more yuck. Sorry. It's not my favorite, but yeah, otherwise you probably won't get in. So there will be check on. So do your best. If you want to go to the show, leave that at home, people. I'm so sorry. Don't blame me. I'm just a messenger, people. You must sign a waiver that holds WWE, Raymond James Stadium, the city of Tampa, and everyone else harmless if you catch COVID at the show, even if it's due to negligence or of any those parties. Yeah, more or less saying if you catch it, it's at your own risk. So you can't sue anybody. Your own at risk that you have to sign. This waiver is standard across the board these days and has been noted to observe for Mania and other events. Yeah, so it's some sort of your legal rights. You sign away, so you can't hold anybody responsible for it. More or less, legal rights. Well, that are the rules for WrestleMania. I understand it. In these times of safety, I can definitely understand that. Some things I have, something, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? That with cash and everyone, people, I've seen that already for many years. I can remember a story once. I was to U2 in Amsterdam. I was with my friend, and you could pay with a Dutch bank account card. And as you know, I live in Denmark. And while I went to Amsterdam, well, my parents live, of course, in Holland, and so I went with a friend there, so it was easier. It was also cheaper. And the second, what you should know at the time, that U2 was not performing in Denmark, so we went to U2 in Amsterdam, and we were something. Yeah, well, we were thirsty. We want something to drink, and you could only pay with card from a Dutch bank. Yeah, so but some nice people helped us. We gave them some money, and they bought some beer. We gave them a little bit extra, of course. So thank you for that. But they already see it, and I was talking about that was in 2010 people. So it's a normal habit. You see it a lot these days. I think they want to get the cash away from the stadium, also due to criminalities. I can understand that where they're coming from. To be quite honest, that has more to do. I don't think it's. Yeah, now they use it also for COVID, but trust me, there's more reason to it. So just well, WrestleMania week. GDA Sports Studio, of course, has been actually covering this event, WrestleMania week. We started off in this is now the third year in a row, 2 years ago, to do a podcast each evening to excite you, to get you propped for WrestleMania, the biggest event of the pro wrestling scene, of course. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Not so excited about WrestleMania as I was. The years has shrunk. That's maybe because of the creative department is doing crap. The Undertaker has retired now. That's also for me. I was also a major mark for the Undertaker, always supporting and screaming and shouting for the Undertaker. And if you want to know, my birthday, my 15-year-old birthday, was on the debut of the evening of the Undertaker. So I have a little bit connection with the Undertaker. You understand that, right? What do I else have more in my mind with WrestleMania? What's WrestleMania? Always, the funny part is, if you look general on WrestleMania, I've been talking actually, it's not always the best pay-per-view of the year. That's the funniest part. But we are most excited for WrestleMania, this event, always. And that is the thing. We stand and deliver on this show, and I think it's because of how we see the show today, and it's getting bigger. I remember, and you must know, the first WrestleMania I saw was WrestleMania 4, and there I started to watch pro wrestling. There I started watching WWE. And that was in arena. I can remember that was in Atlanta from our beloved Donald Trump. He had those arenas and those casinos down there. And so there I started to follow. So I've seen many WrestleManias that were still in arenas. I went self to WrestleMania 25. That was amazing to experience, and just to be there in the crowd. I saw The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, the first match. I was live in the attendance. I can tell you, that is a real WrestleMania match for me. I think it's still one of the best WrestleManias matches for me. Maybe it's also because I think that is because I was live in the audience there. I saw it live. So even the match was that great. If you saw it live, it was 10 times so better. I can tell you that. So in that way saying, to experience it live, that gave something extra to that WrestleMania. That evening was also Randy Orton versus Triple H. It was a great match. But The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels is for me the WrestleMania match of all time. Some people will say, well, Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. The funny part is that match. I want to go a little bit in that. Sorry, I saw pizza tonight. Sorry. As great as that moment was, if you see that match, it's a boring match. It's not so something like wow, fireworks go off. If you've seen The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, it's technically a very good, solid, great 5-star match for WWE's stake. If you see Hulk Andre the Giant, it's a sleeper. It's short. It doesn't have a good build-up. But what carried the match was actually, Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant, body slamming Andre the Giant. That was the whole thing. Of course, amazing as it is. If you see, if you see whole the whole thing, if you see, the size of Andre the Giant and how big he was, and the legend of Andre the Giant, we all know it. He was one of the best pro wrestlers. It's how sad how he passed away, and that in the end, his last WrestleMania match I can remember, there was a tag team match with Haku against Demolition. He was actually more or less standing on the sidelines and do nothing anymore. He could not do anything anymore, but he stood there because it was name value. I think he was there in 2 seconds, and you could see that guy was done, and that is a shame. If you have to go out on that way with such a big name in the past and such a legend, and it breaks almost my heart, if my pro wrestling heart, and if you see that. And I think it's also shortly after he passed away. So being that said, then if you saw the size and the legend, if you know the story behind Andre the Giant, he finally get body slammed. It was actually the passing of the torch from Andre the Giant to Hulk Hogan, more or less. And Hulk Hogan grew out as being this pop rock star, pro wrestler. He became actually more or less the face of WWE in that era. Everybody knew Hulk Hogan, even outside the pro wrestling ring. You knew about pro wrestling. You know who he was. He made some movies, were not that good. But you know what he stood for, and it was a guarantee household name for WrestleMania. In that time, you came to see, if you went to WrestleMania, came to see Hulk Hogan in that time. And of course, until he went to WCW. And the slow transition period was very slow. That when he left, it was not much potential there. And you saw new stars grow out, like Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Triple H came to the scene, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I think if you see the olden WrestleManias, you get a whole different feel. But being that said, if you have seen them, it gives also an extra feel today. WrestleMania. It's like the Christmas for every pro wrestling fan, right? Let's be honest, call a spade a spade. Everybody is talking about WrestleMania. Look at our website. Most news is about WrestleMania at this moment. And I have something, yeah, okay, that's fine. I knew that would go happen. I have no shame and I have no, because it's a big name and we should talk about it. And I'm absolutely fine with that. And everybody's suspecting me also. The latest news about the WrestleMania, of course, and it's not only GTA Sports Studio. Don't get me wrong. Every pro wrestling news site has about WrestleMania today. It's just like that. So, and even here we have our own podcast. The whole week we're going to talk about about WrestleMania. So WrestleMania, can you call the Super Bowl of pro wrestling? Yeah, sure. Absolutely, it's the Super Bowl, the Champions League final, it's the World Series, the NFN, the NBA finals. All that matters, that title in the world of pro wrestling. Doesn't matter what sport you like, right? And that's why we also do this show. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if I look at the cards this year, it's what I found actually positive. There are no part-timers on it. We finally have a card on WrestleMania this year that has its own stars. Now, it can be because of COVID. Next year we have some part-timers. We don't have Brock Lesnar, but he has come from Canada. The only part-timer maybe you could follow, but he is there more or less now full-time, is Edge. And I'm happy for Edge he's back. I really am. I'm a great... I was so excited also for WrestleMania that year in Orlando when he faced The Undertaker, and it was a great match. The year that Ric Flair said goodbye, he retired for the wrestling scene for 2 weeks. Then he came back on wrestling for TNA, about the ring for the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah, okay. Still laugh about that one, but never mind. Anyway, what I'm saying, people, is there are so many great moments on WrestleMania. We don't even realize. Today, yes, we're critical about WrestleMania. Absolutely, I must admit, we're very critic on, and that's because of the product what is WWE releasing today. Don't get me wrong. I am that critic as well over WWE as everybody else. Maybe sometimes even more than an extreme. And some people, why I am an AEW darling. No, I'm not. I'm just being critical. And I'll be honest about that. I'm also about AEW. I also been called a hater for AEW. Don't get me wrong, I'm not. But you have to be critic in this job, and it doesn't matter if you are if it's AEW, WWE. You have to be the same value as being critic as positive. If you do something good, you tell something good about it. But if it's terrible, you say something terrible about it. Let's be honest, call spade spade. And that's how I am. But you know what I mean? And if I'm being honest, no, I'm not that excited for WrestleMania as I always used to be. If I look at the card, well, I'm looking forward to Cesaro, Seth Rollins. That's one match. WWE Championship? Yeah, sure. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. I was actually hoping for Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. I'll be honest, and I think many of you who are watching this, you will agree with me on that. Roman Reigns, they have built Roman Reigns up very good as a heel. But the question, what I'm feeling now is, when and what are you going to do? Are we still going to see Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? I have a feeling about that. And I will be talking about that Wednesday. So tune in. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, of course, youtube.com/DJLiveTube. Because thank you for everything along, people. Yeah. I think I said enough today about WrestleMania week, what it means on DJ Sports Studio. Tomorrow we're going to look on the WWE Championship match, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. Tonight is the go-home show for Raw. I suggest you tune in and watch. Hey, I don't get paid by WWE even by saying that, but just for old time's sake, for preparing for WrestleMania. So, anyway, thank you for tuning in. My name is JJ Abbink. I'm reporting for GTA Sports Studio. And I'll be tomorrow here again at 8 p.m. Central European Time, 7 UK time, and 2 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. Take care. If you have any questions regarding WrestleMania, put them in the comments. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Take care. And don't forget to subscribe, like and subscribe this video here on youtube.com/DJ LiveTube. My name is JJ Abbink. I wish you a great WrestleMania already, and I'm wishing you a great evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, and ciao.